Right, looks like we are good, not sure yet. All right, looks like we are live. Yes. So today we're going to be doing an upper body resistance band workout. So we're going to be working the muscles in the chest and lats, along with some of the muscles in the arms and stabilizing muscles of the shoulder. I want to do this in between because my legs, in the middle of the week, between my other two full body workouts, my legs are still pretty sore. So if you're like me and need some extra time between your leg exercises, this is a great workout to do, where we're just focusing on upper body and still maintain that progress, building the muscles in our chest and back. So I'm gonna start out with a warm up. We're gonna try something a little bit different today. So instead of doing two hands at the same time, we're going to do one arm at a time, working out that chest. So I'm gonna double loop this handle. So both carabiners attached to the one side. We're gonna start out with a chest press. So I'm gonna do a lighter band to start with, to do a warm up. I'm gonna step forward till my arm is back in line with my chest. So like this. So I don't wanna be out here where I'm not completely opening up that chest. And we're going to almost punch forward. So you should feel that really opening up, working that chest. You can even put your hand here to make sure you feel that chest contract. I'm gonna drop this down just a tiny bit. It's a little bit too high. I want that right at my shoulder level. So I'm just warming up. So the important thing with the band that's different from a dumbbell is I want to make sure there's tension all the way back here. So I want to put my body, I want to step far enough away from the post where I can feel that tension pulling me back. Now, it's not bad if there's tension up here, but the most important part is that it has all the way through that movement, that band is pulling you back. You never want the band to go slack. And same thing on the other side. So we're starting out, I'm just warming up before I go to a heavier band. So starting out with a little bit lighter and then working my way up. Now, if you don't know what color band to use, what resistance to use, a great way to do this is by warming up until you find the band that's challenging. So say you have a light, a medium, and a heavy band. Start with the light, then you work your way up to the heavy band or until you feel challenged in that muscle. Might be that you stop at the light or medium, that's totally fine. The important part is you feel that fatigue in the muscle. Like right now, I can feel the muscle working, but it's not really fatiguing yet. But that's good for a warm-up. We're just getting blood flow into that muscle. So now we're going to do a row. So I want the band to be pulling my arm towards the front. I want to feel that tension in the band all the way through. So I'm stepping far enough away where, here, hopefully you guys can see me, where I feel that pulling me forward. Now I'm gonna bring my elbow back to my rib cage. For this, I'm gonna need to drop this down just a little bit, just because I want to be pulling straight away from my arm. And my arm is just a little lower in this position. This is working the muscles in the back now. So upper back and in the lats across the rib cage. Same thing other side. Just doing about 10 reps just to get some blood flow into the muscle. So just notice something about this band. It's good to bring up. This is a bit of an older band. So let's see if you can see this. You see how there's a little tear right there in the band? That tells me this is kind of wearing out. So I've had this band for a long time. This is multiple years of work with this band. Now that is something that does happen with these over time, is just like a rubber band. If you keep on stretching it out and using it a lot, which I use these all the time, they eventually do wear out and break down. So when that happens, it's more likely a tear. So just be aware, if you do see that in your band, it might be a good time to get a new set. Nice thing is they're relatively cheap. They're not very expensive to replace. They're not cheap, but I'm saying they're not expensive to replace. So if that does happen, it's better to be safe and to replace the gear. So I'm gonna toss that one because I happen to have a newer band and I just don't want that to snap on me while I'm working out. So now I'm gonna move to a heavier band. So with my set, yellow is the lightest, then blue, then green is sort of a medium band, and then the red is the heavy band. It varies from set to set though. Some sets have different colors. Usually though, they'll have a little pamphlet or manual that will tell you what color is what weight. Usually if it doesn't have that, there tend to be lower quality bands. The higher the quality of the band, the more likely they are to tell you the exact weight or weight range that each band is. So for red, this is pretty close to, I think it's 30 to 40 pounds. So usually with bands, they'll have a weight range because at its most relaxed, where there's just a little bit of tension, that's gonna be 30 pounds. And then when it's really stretched, it's gonna be closer to 40 pounds. So that is a property of bands where they have escalating resistance. It's the further they're stretched, the greater that resistance is on that band. So now I'm moving into my working sets for my chest press. Should feel that pec working as well as the tricep. So I'm keeping my chest up, pushing out towards the front, and keeping my elbow and fist or hand in a straight line. So I'm not bringing it across. I'm pushing straight out to the front like I'm punching. And it should feel tiring by that last rep. If it doesn't feel tiring, if you feel like, oh, I could do another 4, 5, 6 of these, then you need to pick a heavier band. So for me, I'm trying to aim for about 12 reps. I find that the higher reps, or that's about a good rep range for me. Now, you could go anywhere between 5 reps and 30 reps, and that's still gonna build muscle. I like to aim for the low teens because it just takes less time per set then. Hang on, I gotta adjust a little bit. So I wanna make sure that's tensioning all the way through. And going into our rows. So here, letting my arm get pulled forward, drawing my elbow to the back. I like this variation because I don't have to worry about doing a bent over row. It's where I'm having to think about my low back. I can focus just on what's happening at my shoulder, really focusing in on those lats rather than my low back. I can really actually feel a lot better lat activation because of that. And 12. Now the most important part of this is actually this part of the movement here. You don't want to come back halfway or part way where your elbow is still a little bit bent. You want your arm all the way out in front where you're getting that stretch across your shoulder. And same thing on this side. I'm not twisting my chest, trying to keep my chest pointed straight towards the post. I'm just letting my arm pull forward and then bring my elbow back. Trying to move my chest as little as possible. Now my shoulder blade pulls back as I do this as well. I'm actually trying to bring that arm backwards. All right, now going into set number 2, just gonna rapid fire these. Like this, because it's challenging the muscle in a different way than dumbbells. Bands are also a great way to build power because you can actually do more ballistic movements with them if you would like. So if you were doing boxing training and wanted to increase your hand speed, what you could do with this, which it wouldn't be quite safe to do this with the dumbbell, is try and go fast and try and do that punch against the band. So the band provides that resistance where you're building that power to be able to have fast hand speed. So there's a lot of variety of training you can do with different pieces of equipment, and there's pros and cons to each piece of equipment. So one of the advantages of bands is they're very versatile, they're not that expensive, and you can do a bit more power training with the band. Now, something with dumbbells is they tend to be better for building bulky muscles or connective tissue. Not necessarily better for strength though. They're equal in building strength with bands. So bands are probably a B to B plus for building muscle mass. But that could actually be a bonus if you're trying to not bulk up like a bodybuilder look, but try and get that toned look. Resistance bands can get you the muscle strength without building a ton of extra bulk. A lot of the current research says that you would want the most resistance at the most stretched part of the muscle. So for this exercise, I would want the most resistance right here, which bands, unfortunately, that's when this band provides the least resistance through this movement. So it's most here, least here. So it is going to sacrifice a little bit of that hypertrophy or muscle size increase because of that. But say show that I'm still building just as much strength as I would be with a free weight or a machine. You could also, a lot of the exercises you can do with cables, bands work really well for as well. I'm actually getting some ab workout on this as well, because since I'm doing this one side at a time, since I'm doing only one arm at a time, what happens is, because as this pulls back to stop my body from having to twist, my obliques actually have to engage to stabilize my spine. So even though I'm working chest, I'm also getting that ab exercise as well, isometrically, which isometrically means the muscle isn't changing length. I'm not contracting and stretching. It's just holding that position, which is a lot of what your abs have to do, is hold that isometric position. Now, if you're trying to get your abs bigger, you probably want to have that stretch and contraction, but isometrics are a nice side benefit of a lot of other exercises for abs. So just think about it as a bonus muscle group we're hitting. So this is set number 3. I think we're gonna do 3 sets of these today. Well, we'll see. This is kind of our first time doing this sort of training, where I'm doing a single hand doubled up resistance band. So I'm still experimenting around with this a little bit. I think as I'm doing this, I think I need a little bit more resistance. Now, one way I could do this is actually by increasing the reps. but I don't want to do that because I want to try and not confuse myself, because I'm doing 12 reps with dumbbells on my dumbbell sets, and it's just hard for me to switch up the number of reps. I don't know if anyone else is that way, but just memorizing how many reps I was doing with each set, with each different exercise. I just want to make it simpler for myself. Say I'm doing 12 reps on everything this week and find a weight that is going to effectively challenge me at 12. So I'm going to add a resistance band to this to make it a little bit more challenging. Now, just like weights with bands, if you ever need it to be more challenging, you just add an extra band to it and double up on those bands. So we'll try the last set or two with an extra band. Oh. Yeah, that's good. I gotta keep my chest up. So I'll have to remember that I need the red plus blue for the single arm chest press. And 12. Yeah. So for this exercise, something to watch out for is that you don't tuck in with your hand. You want to keep that hand wide out here as you're pressing forward, because if I bring it in like this, I've taken tension off that band where it's lost some of that. If I can do this with a band, it means there's not a whole lot of tension in it. But if it's up here, I'm keeping that pulling directly against the post and I'm not cheating myself out of the most important part of this exercise. So if you're liking this workout and want to see more, I host these live streams on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific time, where we can work out together. I do all my workouts live on stream, where I'm showing what I'm doing, and you're welcome to join me building strength, building healthy muscle. I want to help people be able to live healthy lives where they're strong and able to move and live like they want to. Yeah, red plus blue definitely brings this to a whole level. I think this is the right weight for me because I definitely feel challenged by the end. And that's the whole thing you want to do, is make sure you're actually tired by the end. A lot of times people think, oh, resistance bands don't work. They weren't even hard. And that's because they're not picking a heavy enough resistance band. So it'd be just like picking up a really light dumbbell and saying, oh, that's really easy to carry. I'll do the exercise with this. We would never do that. That'd be silly. But with bands, there's not the same visual indicator. It's not like you can tell from the thickness of the band right away how hard it's gonna be. Like with this, can you tell the difference between the blue and the red other than the color? Like maybe you could see a little bit difference in thickness, but it's hard to tell what that is actually gonna translate to. So looking up, I think this one is between 5 and 10 pounds, and this one is between 30 and 40 pounds. So total is between 35 and 50, I believe, is the total rep range. And then kilograms would be about half that. So I can't do mental math right now on camera. One more set for each, and then we're going to go on to biceps and deltoid muscles. Something I've been finding recently, I've really liked, is I've upped my protein right after a workout. So I'm getting closer to 50 grams of protein immediately after working out. I found I've actually reduced my soreness a lot, where I'm able to do a Monday workout and then a Wednesday workout of the same upper body muscles. Now, for some people, that's too fast, where they find they need an extra day in there. Maybe they work out Monday and Thursday, and that is okay. Some people, they can actually do faster than that even, where their body is recovered by 24 hours later. So finding what's gonna work for you is important. So, but I know for me, I feel like I can go straight into the same muscle group after 48 hours. So I'm finding that's a good range for me. The longer you've been doing this, the more you figure out what's gonna work well for you. I need to just step forward just a little bit to make sure I have equal tension. There we go. Have my hand here, just feeling that muscle contraction in my chest. Okay. And last set of rows. Then we're going to go into biceps and deltoids. I'm trying to drive my elbow back to really engage my upper back. And 12. Same thing on the other side. I'm trying to keep it equal tension on both sides. So I'm not moving my feet. I'm just passing it to my other hand. I'm trying to do this without leaning forward as well. So I'm not trying to twist or lean at all. All right. So if you're liking this workout and want to see more, hit that like button for me to let me know you want more content like this, where we're working out with resistance bands, building upper body. So, I'm gonna shift now to the deltoid muscle, this muscle that runs right here along the top of the shoulder. It's that ball of muscle around the ball and socket. So for this, I like bands because the force curve is a little bit more conducive to hitting that deltoid. So I'm gonna step right in the middle of the band. So I'm gonna step right in the middle of the band with my feet about shoulder width apart so I have plenty of slack on both sides. I'm gonna then cross my hands so it makes kind of an X in front of me. From here, there we go. Should be about even on both sides. From here, I'm gonna go up to the sides to where my hands are right at shoulder height, and then back down. So this pulls in at an angle, so it's pulling my hands down to my sides. And that's gonna really challenge the deltoid muscle through the entire range of motion. So I have to resist that band going down, where it's putting that tension through the deltoid, through the top of your shoulder. It's just like you're making a snow angel. A really difficult snow angel. Now I'm trying to not do this with a shrug. I'm trying to just lift my hands up to the sides. So I'm not working the traps up here as much as I'm working the deltoid down here. So now we're gonna work the bicep. I'm actually gonna shift this just a little bit. We're trying something different right now. We're gonna try double banded bicep curl. So I'm gonna step with one foot out to the front. So that's gonna put tension on this bicep in a stretched position. It's kind of hard to see the band. I'm using a black one because that's the right weight for me, but I'm stepping in the middle of the band with with it double hooked to the one handle. So from here, we're gonna do a bicep curl. I'll do like this so you can see the band a little easier. So I want the band pulling straight down when my elbow is almost straight. So I'm gonna lean back to where I feel that tension on the bicep. From here, I'm gonna curl up and then back out to straight. So you should feel that really pulling at that tendon right here. And that's what's gonna emphasize that bicep all the way through this motion. And 12. Should feel that burning right here in that bicep. Now, if it hurts in the tendon right here, try a lighter band, and where you can do it without that hurting when you're at that full extension, where your arm is out like this. If it hurts, try a lighter band till you find that point where you can get a full range of motion without any pain right here. Because it might be you need to train the tendon a little bit to be able to get, because we actually strengthen our tendons as well to build up that whole structure. I'm really trying to straighten my arm out to the front. And 12. A lot of times you see bodybuilders where their bicep doesn't go all the way here. It starts over here, where it's this big mound at the back of their arm, rather than being a long muscle that's all the way to their elbow. What happens is this tendon that attaches can tear if it's not strong enough, and where the tendon starts lengthening and then the muscle bunches up back here. So it's actually, they've damaged their tendon. So we want strong muscles and tendons, where you have that tendon able to handle what the muscle is pulling through it. That's part of the reason we want to go through that full range, to strengthen not only the muscle, but the tendon too. Now going back to our deltoid. And 12. And 12. So you should feel that burn in that muscle by the end of this movement. Trying to keep my hand flat, so I'm not going up to my thumb or up to my pinky. So I'm working evenly through that whole bicep. And 12. Oh, so the bicep actually attaches up here at the shoulder and goes all the way down into your elbow. So that's one of the reasons I'm trying to lean back a little bit. So I'm stretching it across its full length rather than having it a little bit shortened up here. I'm trying to lean back so my shoulder fully extends as well. Was that set number 2? So this is set number 3. Trying to keep it to an hour. So we'll see how many sets we can get in. I still want to try a little bit of rotator cuff exercise. So we'll do that at the end. All right. And 12. Oh. Okay. So we'll do 3 sets of this and then 3 sets of another exercise. I want to get the bicep in a little bit working at that elbow, because the row never really gets that full bicep range. It gets some, but if you think about it, when I'm here, I actually have not very much pressure on the bicep, because the direction the bicep pulls, like this, is not perpendicular to the pull of the band. So in its most stretched position, I'm getting not very much tension on that bicep. So I only really get a little bit of bicep in row. So that's why I'm trying to emphasize it a little bit more by giving it a dedicated exercise here at the end where we're doing resistance band curls. So for that resistance band curl, I lean back, pulling up to the front and then all the way back out. I'm not going down, I'm going outwards to really emphasize that bicep. That's why I want to have one foot stepped out towards the front. So the force is going directly down against that bicep. Directly down against that bicep. Wow. Whew. Man, that burns. And last one, and 12. Oh, all right. So if you're liking this content and want to see more, I host these live streams on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Hit that subscribe button and the bell to be notified when we go live. If you're looking for a workout to do every week, I host these live streams every time I'm working out. Keep it, everything I'm doing, I show you guys, because I want to be genuine and honest about what results I'm getting and what it takes to get them. So, right now, we're in a cut, so we're trying to just maintain muscle. So if you don't know what a cut is, it means a weight loss period of time where we're reducing our calories below what we need to maintain body weight. So right now I'm trying to reduce my body weight by about 8 pounds in 2 months. So by the end of February, I'm gonna try and be down 8 pounds. I started in January. So for this, I want my band to be about belly button height. And I'm going to step to where the band is pulling my arm across my body like this. So this is gonna work these muscles back here in the back of the shoulder. These are the rotator cuff muscles. So keeping my elbow right where it is. I don't wanna do a row where I'm pulling my elbow back. I want my elbow to be locked in right here, and then I'm gonna rotate out and away. I can already feel this is actually gonna be too heavy of a band with the doubling up. So, going to a little bit lighter of a band. It does not take very much to get a great rotator cuff exercise. These muscles are the muscles that hold that ball and socket in place. We don't want them to be completely tired out, but we want to try to engage them and keep them strong. So starting with your hand right here at your belly button, rotating out, keeping your elbow right where it is. You can try and keep that elbow just sort of rotating like a door. You don't want it to come off its hinge and pull back. You want to just pull out to the side and back in. I should feel that right back in the back of my shoulder here. Now, I don't want to lift my arm up. I want to keep that right at my side. Now, if you have any sort of clicking or shoulder discomfort, this is a great exercise to do to make sure you're keeping that shoulder joint healthy. I'm just going to switch to the other pole. A lot of people miss doing their rotator cuff exercises. They never do anything for these small muscles. So they have very strong, large pecs, lats, other muscle groups, but the muscle that holds their shoulder together is not nearly as strong. So it'd be like having a giant engine in your car and just tiny little screws holding the wheels in place. Oh, okay. I'm gonna try for 2 more sets of this exercise. So I'm doing multiple sets to try and maximize that muscle growth in this. Anytime we do multiple sets, we're trying to add extra growth into that muscle. So it's one of those that's deceptively hard to do correctly. And 12. Because as we get tired, your body will try and throw other muscles into it where you're sort of swinging with your arm, pulling with your shoulder blade, twisting with your body. And we want none of those. We want it to only come from the arm pulling out to the side like this. This is called external rotation of the shoulder. And there's only a couple muscles that do that movement, but that's why it's so important to keep them strong and healthy, because you only have a couple of them versus a lot of very big muscles that do the opposite movement. So the pecs and the lats do that internal rotation. So we're making sure we're strengthening that external rotation of pulling the arm up like this. So same thing. I've just moved where my elbow is. It's still internal rotation, external rotation. So we're working external. And last one. I think I'm gonna stop there because I can feel how much fatigue is building up in my rotator cuff. I don't wanna be completely exhausted in those muscles because I still want it to hold my shoulder in place to protect those nerves in the front so that it doesn't pop out of socket and bump those nerves. Because that funny bone nerve, if you've ever hit your elbow where you have that numb feeling through your elbow, same nerve that runs through here, that if your rotator cuff is weak, you can actually bump into that nerve. So I'm gonna stop at there and not completely exhaust those muscles. And let them heal and come back stronger. So if you like this workout and wanna see more, hit that subscribe button for me, and I hope